Welcome back to the Centered in the City podcast. I'm your host, Wade Brill, and I am so glad you are here. In today's solo episode, I want to guide you through a really brief but powerful exercise, a pseudo guided meditation, as well as a way to just connect and talk to yourself when you are wanting to come back to your center. So, I recommend listening to this podcast when you are home in a quiet space. You can even be on a walk. It might not be as visceral for you if you're in motion. I definitely don't recommend listening to this if you're driving in a car, if you're sitting on a bus or in the subway and can feel and connect to yourself safely with eyes open or closed. And you can definitely enjoy this while in transit. So, wherever you are, I welcome you to settle in and let's get centered. So, talked about before on the podcast, what does it mean to be centered? Or asking guests, how do you come back to your center? Or what does being centered mean to you? But in this exercise, I want you to feel it instead of think your way through it. And this is a little taster of some of the work I do with my coaching clients, where we do both, where we challenge our thoughts, we explore our belief systems. That's what I call more of a top down approach. But then we also do this really powerful practice of connecting to whatever we're exploring, the situation, a belief, an emotion from the body, from a felt sense. And to me, this is more of a down upward experience. And I think both connecting to our body and our mind can be really helpful when navigating life, when trying to get some clarity, to connect to our answers, to find what feels authentic in our experience. But a lot of the time, we can get trapped in our head. We can get lost in our thoughts. We can get swirled up in self doubt or judgments or criticisms. And the mind can feel really loud that we then can't make sense what it's trying to communicate. And so when that happens, a lot of the time, I welcome my clients to come into their body and we find a way in by connecting through the sensations and the insights that are coming up through the lens of the body. So we're going to explore, what does it mean from a felt sense to connect to being centered? And why is being centered in our cities, our lives, wherever we are, important? So I welcome you to settle into a comfortable position. Can be lying down, sitting up, standing. And if you're somewhere that you feel safe to close your eyes, you can close your eyes and take a moment to just ground yourself. So find your feet, find your seat if you're sitting. If you're lying down, just notice what parts of the body are connected to the ground, connected to the earth below you. And I welcome you to find a place in your body or your breath, or maybe it's sounds in your space, to just support you anchoring into this present moment. So, for instance, maybe you want to rest into the rhythm of your inhale and exhale. Maybe you want to rest into the sound that's occurring moment to moment, just like music. Or maybe you want to anchor your attention into the body, maybe feeling your feet, or feeling what part of your body is touching the earth, the chair. Knowing that the mind is going to naturally want to wander, it's going to want to think or plan, judge, criticize, and see if you can just notice its natural tendency. And with a lot of curiosity and kindness, anytime it wanders off, just gently getting more curious as you rest back into your anchor. Huh, what does this feel like in this moment? And just trusting that as you rest into your anchor point, that you are right where you're supposed to be. And as you continue to come back to the anchor again and again, this is all just part of learning how to settle the mind. I welcome you to now carry your attention into your body. And I want you just to notice, where is your body leaning to? Where's the weight? Do you notice the body's leaning forward, kind of like you're leaning into the wind? Is your body resting back? Is your body more anchored in the right hip or the left hip? Just noticing where there's an energetic pull, and just trusting whatever arises for you is perfect for this practice. And then I welcome you to visualize your spine. And so visualizing your spine, your tailbone, the base of your spine, rooting into the ground. You can visualize this if you're standing or lying down. And visualizing the top of your spine that connects to the base of your skull, just continuing to rise up to the sky. And so in Pilates, we call this the plumb line, the center line of the body. And so in this moment, see if you can energetically sense where there's a plumb line, this through line through your own body. And just notice as you rest your attention on that center line, Notice, how does it feel? Does it feel like the weight of the body shifts to one side? Does it shift forward, backwards? Does it feel pleasant, unpleasant, neutral? Or maybe it feels just really challenging to connect to that center line. You can welcome in that experience too. So, whether you can sense your plumb line or not, can you just trust that it's there? That there's this center energetic line that runs through the body. And as you feel yourself resting there, or maybe imagining resting there, just gently noticing, why would that be important for you? Why would bringing your attention and energy into the centered space be important to you? Just listening and noticing what answers arise. And then maybe with, again, a lot of curiosity and kindness, asking yourself, what would life be like if I lived and moved from this centered space? What would life be like in my relationships, in my career, as I made choices, as I walked through the streets, as I woke up in the morning, as I talked to strangers, as I held interviews, went on a first date. Like, what would that be like to live and move from that centered space? And let whatever intel you gather to just be information. It's not the truth with a capital T. It's all just noticing data collecting through the body. And welcoming you to gently wiggle fingers and toes. Connecting back to your feet, back to this present moment. And opening your eyes whenever you are ready, if you close them. And I'd love to hear from you what came up for that practice, what insights, what felt sense. For me, this is such a personal practice because I can notice so much of my energy leans forward, and that energy correlates to this kind of striving, pushing foot on the gas pedal impulse and desire that's so baked into my operating system. This comes from many layers as a New Yorker, as a high achiever, as somebody who wants to go after what they want. It also comes from a place of control and tightening. And so whenever I start to notice my energy is off center, like physically leaning forward, right? There's energy, there's weight pulling me forward. It's an opportunity to invite myself to rest back. And when I invite myself to rest back, I can feel myself come back to my center. I feel myself in more alignment, connecting to that plumb line. And I feel way more internally aligned, which then helps me feel like I can move through the day feeling way more present, way more grounded, more like I'm walking and being with, I hate to say the word alignment again, but that's what's coming up for me. It's like I'm walking in connection, like I'm feeling connected internally and out and externally. There's congruence. And when I lean forward, when I'm in that mode, I can feel very disconnected, very much like maybe my inner world and outer world are not in alignment. Or I'm acting from a place that's maybe not as skillful. So finding this embodied sense of centeredness is really helpful for me to shift my attention back into my body, back into alignment. And being centered is a practice. It is not a static state. There's so many things that can throw me off center, and yet I get to learn how to get back, that I can come back. And I kind of think of those games, as a child when you'd have like a cup with a string and a ball at the end, and there's like that bounciness in the string. And as the ball goes out, you try to get it back into the cup. But of course, it bounces around and it's really hard to get the ball in the cup every time. It's kind of like when we're in that centered space, to me, it feels like, okay, that ball is in the cup. But a lot of the time, there's things that can happen that can throw me out of my own cup, right? They can throw me off center. But I have some strategies, mental, emotional, physical, soulful, to bring me back. And so I wanted to share with you this embodied somatic practice that you can do and explore with yourself to find your own center. Because what feels like centered to you is probably really different than what centered is for me. And that's why it's a beautiful journey to investigate your own internal world and to learn about yourself, because the information that I share, it's not one size fits all. It's all about understanding yourself, right? Strengthening those mindfulness muscles, that presence, that awareness, so you can take that awareness and make more intentional choices in your life. So for you might recognize you lose your center in certain conversations, while stuck in traffic, while watching the news. And can this be your own private practice? So you don't have to announce it to anybody. You don't have to take out your yoga mat. You don't have to pop a squat on a meditation pillow. But can you come back to that centered space? And the more you get to feel what your home base, what that centered space feels like in your body, it becomes this beautiful place that you want to return to again and again. And it becomes a place where you get to move through life more. But we can't get centered just in our mind. We also have to feel it. So I welcome you to explore that and let me know how it goes. I'm here to support you on your journey. And if you are a high achieving, ambitious woman and you're looking for more support in how to fill up your cup, how to feel fully nourished, I welcome you to join me for my 6-week group coaching program called Summer of Self-Care. And this is a virtual, interactive, guided experience where we walk through the framework of the mindful hand of self-care and really welcome you to come back to yourself. Because one of the things that I recognize is that we as women specifically can abandon ourselves, can abandon our needs, can abandon our wants. We can lose ourselves in the noise of life. And that happens whether we're conscious of it or unconscious of it. But the most amazing thing is when we gain awareness of it, there is a way to come back into alignment where we can give ourselves the gift of coming back to caring for ourselves instead of disregarding and abandoning or ignoring our needs. So if any of this resonates for you and you're looking to really fill your cup up this summer, and I'm not just saying with sunshine and travel, but really fill your cup up, nourish yourselves from the inside out, I welcome you to sign up. There's limited spots, and you can learn more at wadeburrell.com/summer of self-care. Thanks so much for being here, for again welcoming me into your ears, your heart, your body, your mind. I would be so honored if you would share this episode with somebody in your community that you know would appreciate having their own centered, embodied practice. And until next time, stay centered.